When I got arrested at 22 years old, I was very immature, reckless.
I'm finally in a position where I'm able to make a positive impact in my community.
The sky's the limit with this program.
Welcome to Prison to Purpose, Building Futures Behind Bars. I'm your host, Michelle Kane. We are talking Braille. Braille inside Folsom State Prison. And some of the best Braillists around the country are inside those walls at Folsom State Prison. The Digital Services Program that is operated by the California Correctional Training and Rehabilitation Authority is a spectacular program. And joining me is Correctional Training Manager Joe Marty, who oversees the Braille program or digital services. Joe, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
And let's talk about this program.
Sure.
This amazing program. It's been around since...
It started in 1987, and since then it's gone through different incarnations and different names, but it's been there since 1987.
And what do the guys do?
Well, the men who come into the program, they basically what we do is we enable them to learn how to read Braille, to transcribe visual text that you and I would read into Braille. Then it goes through a process called embossing, where it's not printing, it's putting the bumps on the paper and then binding it and then ultimately sending out to the customer who's requested it.
And now the customer, I know... CALCTRA, we only sell to government entities. It's not the private sector. So who is the partner in all of this?
Our main customer is the California Department of Education, and we work closely with them. They've been out to visit our facility. We've visited them to get a greater understanding of what each entity's needs are. So that's our main customer and our main focus.
And what does it do for you?
For me?
Yeah.
I've had more jobs than I think most people I know. And this is by far my favorite job I've ever had. I didn't expect it to be, but what we do there extends far beyond just, like I said, putting the bumps on the paper. We take people who would have never found themselves in this situation, who have made mistakes and then realized there's more to life than what they saw before, and applied themselves in a way that cannot be faked, and then gone on to success when they're released, or even success within the walls, in a way that's extremely inspiring to me. Everyone has setbacks and bumps along the way, and I've seen some of these guys experience those that would crush people. And they just brush it off and say, okay, one foot in front of the other, and I'm just going to keep going and keep pursuing more education, more certifications. And when I do get out, I'm going to be that much better prepared to keep going and do well for myself, my family, my community.
And I've been inside that program time and time again. I've seen the tours. And when people get to the Braille program, it just transforms people's minds about incarcerated, right? I mean, because people have the time to share their stories, and that, I want to say, your classroom has such a cohesiveness. There's a camaraderie there. Describe that.
Well, to your point about the tours, we have tours come through, and our shop is the last stop on the tour. And by then people have walked a lot. There's a lot of walking, and you can see it on their faces. They're winding down. And they spend time in our program, and I see lights go on in people's eyes. They've seen all the other things, and they all do great jobs. But for whatever reason, what happens in that program really, it coalesces, I guess, what CALCTRA is trying to do and what we're trying to express to those people on the tour, what we're about. We're about producing individuals who will leave here and prosper and not come back to prison. And for some reason in that program, it really clicks.
It resonates.
And they come out of there with a spring in their step when they came in sort of dragging a little bit. So it's predictable. Every tour comes through, it sort of follows that same pattern.
It's so rewarding.
It is.
So rewarding to see
Absolutely.
that. And how do I know the Lions Club, they're just great partners as well in all of this through the many, many years.
Yeah, when it started, the Lions Club was a very direct partner, and they still are in many ways. It started with eyeglass refurbishing. You've seen these boxes in banks and grocery stores that say, turn in your old
Yes.
glasses, and then they refurbish them. Well, in this area, they all come to Folsom. It started as a program like that where they would refurbish these glasses, classify them according to prescription, and then they would send them all over the world. I think 180 different countries our glasses have gone through.
And I heard
gone
Doctors
to.
Without Borders and a lot of
Right.
nonprofits have helped get these glasses to third world countries.
Absolutely, and it's amazing what they do, and it's amazing that we're allowed to be a part of that. But the Lions Club has supported this program in every way since it started. It started as eyeglasses, and then someone wrote a letter to thank them in Braille, and one of the incarcerated individuals wanted to learn how to read it. And that's how the Braille part of this started. It was really just sort of one person's interest in reading this letter, and it blossomed into what it is now.
Oh, fascinating. Fascinating. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to get back. We're going to talk a little bit more about how this Braille program inside Folsom State Prison works, how AI, any concerns about that. Yeah, let's talk a little bit more. We'll be right back.
If this episode moved you, hit follow and subscribe to the Prison to Purpose podcast. And remember, no matter where you started, you're always one choice away from a better future.
Welcome back to Prison to Purpose. We are talking with Joe Marty. He's a correctional training manager over digital services, or the Braille program, inside Folsom State Prison. And Joe, we were just having that conversation. You said the program started from a letter that was received by an incarcerated individual.
Yes.
And it was a letter, and it was in Braille.
That's
correct?
right, yeah. And they didn't know how to read it. They were provided a translation, so they knew that what it said, but it sparked curiosity. Hey, I want to read this. So the individual who received it set about learning how to do Braille. I don't know all the details of how that worked, but that went from learning how to read that letter to expanding the knowledge to eventually getting access to what is called a Perkins Brailler. It's got 6 keys. It looks like a stenographer's machine. And learning how to not only read Braille, but to produce it. And they responded with a Braille letter to that person. And then one by one, more people were interested, and it became
A program.
eventually a program. And it's a very successful program with a great track record now for nearly 40 years.
Yeah, and I remember covering that program way back when, and it was inside the cells.
Right.
It was inside a cell inside Folsom State Prison. And now, of course, it's in a building
Yes.
and a classroom.
Right.
And how it has transformed. But I don't know about you, but when I know Braille, and I know it just from maybe you at home remember that book, that classic book, American classic. It's Helen Keller.
Yes.
Did you read that in
Sure,
school? We
yeah.
read that in school, and it talked about Helen Keller and how she had a teacher that showed her the tactiles, right? And what the words meant.
Right.
And it was just a fascinating book. And that was my first encounter with Braille.
Yeah.
And then, of course, fast forward, and then seeing this program and seeing the lives that they are changing and providing that good work they do for the Department of Education, for blind students. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It
It's
is.
amazing. They are truly giving back.
Yes, and they're well aware of that, and that is one of the main things that inspires them to do the excellent work that they're doing.
Yeah.
They see and they know who receives this and what it enables them to do. And whatever they've done to put themselves in prison, I think they definitely take some satisfaction in thinking, I can't fix that problem, but I can do something. I can help someone.
Yeah.
And that's something that they feel very deeply, and it's a very sincere attribute that they all seem to possess.
Oh, and we talked about this camaraderie and how they come together. And let's talk about this one incident that happened inside your program that it was a sad incident, but the gentleman recovered, and it was a staff member who had a heart attack.
Yes.
But how did those guys come together? And it transformed, I would say, people's perception of incarcerated inside Folsom Prison, right? I mean, it was on the news.
Yes, it was. I remember when it was on the news. It was long before I was involved with the program. And it was the basics are, my predecessor, he had a medical event in the office. And we're at the far end of everything at the prison. And the first responders responded as quickly as they could. But while they were en route, one of our workers in the program, he had been a paramedic for 30 years.
Wow.
He saved his life. I mean, it's been documented. It's not just hearsay. He was instrumental in that man living, and he's still living. And in and of itself, that's remarkable. But as someone who, I'll admit, I used to be a lock them up, throw away the key. They did bad things, and so they're bad forever, and that's all they are. You get to see through working here that they're being judged on their worst day, which none of us want to be. And I'm not excusing what brought them there, but there's more to their story. Mm-hmm. And there's a quote that I always think of. I forget who said it, but it's, every sinner has a past, every saint has a future.
Yes.
And that's really kind of at the heart of what we do. We acknowledge these things happened, and you can't ignore it. But 95% of these men will go home. And what do we want them to leave with? How do we want them to come back into the communities they came from, or to yours, or to mine? There's just every good thing that could come from the rehabilitation part of this is expressed in these men and how they transform and how they leave, and they prosper.
And they do.
Yes.
And they inspire and they encourage others. And just as you were saying with the tours, people leave there and they are just, their mind is blown of what good and positive results come from that program. Mm-hmm. So I want to talk a little bit about conferences. You just went to a conference. You go to conferences and you try to keep up on the latest and greatest in Braille. And I know in all, I don't want to say all industries, but a lot of industries right now, AI, it's being talked about. I mean, it's being talked about at the state level. How does that impact Braille? And I know it's just still, people are just talking, but what did you hear at the conference?
Well, like you said, AI it's not the future, it's the present.
Yeah.
And everyone has to reckon with it one way or the other and figure out where it fits in and where we all fit in with it. So at this conference, one of the keynote speakers asked everyone to raise their hand if they had used AI. And, I'd say more than half of the people raised their hands. Okay. How many people here have used AI to write something and then sent it off without proofreading it? No hands went up. And his point was, this is a great tool, like all tools. They're here to help us and aid us in doing what we need to do. But at least for now, we still need someone to read that and proofread it and make sure it makes sense and humanize it. Yeah. So I don't know where the future lies as far as AI and Braille, but I think there will always be a place for what we're doing.
For people.
Yes. I spoke to someone there who is blind, who works in neurobiology, and I asked her because she talked about technology and how that affects her, and she uses readers like audio sort of aids and stuff. And I asked her, do you think Braille in its form, in a book form, will still exist, or will it be irrelevant? And she said, no, it won't be. I use it. It's really key to have as a reference material. Sometimes it just feels good to read something with your hands. And when she's hearing the instructions in an audio format, oftentimes whoever puts that format together has decided what that person probably wants to hear. But if you want to expand on that and explore other things, having those books in a comprehensive text enables you to do your own research and continue exploring those topics that maybe are shortened or truncated in an audio format.
Yeah, yeah. I still like to have a book in front of me, you know.
Me too.
I know, you know, that, and I do, I'm sure you do the, you know, tablets and different things as well, but, you know, I like to have at least choices, right?
Exactly.
Choices. All right, we're going to get back. We're going to take a quick break. Let's talk about the certifications and success stories. And then, boy, do we have a treat for you. Stick around.
This episode of Prison to Purpose: Building Futures Behind Bars proves that no one is defined by their worst mistake. Every day, incarcerated men and women are rebuilding their lives through job training, mentorship, and second chances. This podcast exists to amplify those voices, stories of true grit and purpose.
Welcome back to Prison to Purpose. We're talking about the Braille program inside Folsom State Prison. And Joe Marty, he oversees the program. He's the correctional training manager. And Joe, we're talking about the certifications that these gentlemen can get. You know, what are they?
Well, everyone starts with, it's the literary certification, which is just normal textbooks. From there, you can go into math, music. There's textbook formatting, proofreading, which are their own disciplines that are very difficult certifications to get. Each of them improves the individual's chances of getting gainful employment when they leave. We try to have them all get at least 2 before they go. And it's great to watch.
And these are industry accredited certifications through...
They're absolutely industry accredited certifications that are required to transcribe Braille professionally for many agencies, and they're certified through the Library of Congress. It's a pretty serious thing to get, and it's a really difficult thing to achieve.
That's awesome. And the program is working. Let's talk about the recidivism.
Yeah.
Recidivism meaning returning back to prison. What's the rate?
I haven't worked out the percentage, but in 39 years, we've had one person. Not 1%, one individual come back.
Wow.
Unfortunately, that one. But I'd like to hear of a better recidivism rate for any program. Granted, we're small, but still, we're very proud of that. And that doesn't mean everyone who leaves goes into Braille. But what they've done is they've achieved something very difficult that took a long time, one step at a time. And even if they don't go into Braille, it gives them the confidence that they can do hard things, they can do great things. And whatever they've gone into when they leave, they continue that progress and they've prospered. And it's very gratifying to see.
And when you go into that classroom, it is like a real world work experience.
It's like an office environment.
It's an office environment.
Yeah, there's cubicles, there's desks, there's chairs, there's computers. And it's one of the quietest offices I've worked in. There's really... We hire people, and when we tell them what the environment's like, we say the only time anyone ever raises their voices in this shop is when they're laughing. And it sounds hokey, but it's true. It's absolutely true. Everyone in there is self-motivated.
Yeah. They
don't need micromanagement. They're very much keeping their eyes on the prize for themselves and the guy next to them. It's an amazing thing to witness.
Yeah.
Really
what about
is.
the criteria, you know, coming into the program?
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know, it requires a pretty high intelligence. You have to demonstrate that you can operate. It's learning a whole language, and not everyone can do that. It doesn't mean they're not intelligent, but that's not a faculty everyone has. They have to be virtually discipline free. We don't want to see anything on their record that would upset what we're doing. None of the politics that happen in the rest of the prison are allowed in there. And if we didn't enforce it, our workers would enforce. They maintain that atmosphere. They like what they have. They don't want it interrupted. So,
and I love that
very
about the
cordial.
classroom. They all cross race lines. I mean, it's just everybody works
100%.
together.
Absolutely. And then, there's certain things too. We won't accept someone in the program that has ever committed a crime against a child.
Yeah.
That's just a non-starter. So.
Because you are doing, the Braille books are going to children, so that's
right.
Okay.
So that's not an issue, and a willingness to work hard and work well with others, and it's been very successful. We've gotten a lot of really great people who are going far and will go far and have gone far.
Well, as you said, only one person has come back, so it's very successful, and you've heard the success stories. Maybe just a couple success stories off the top of your head that you can think of from the program.
You mentioned the conference I went to last year. I went to the same conference and was surprised to see someone who was released from the program when I was there, and I saw him in street clothes, and we greeted each other as just normal people, and I heard his story. He'd been out for a couple of years. He was working in Braille, and he earned one certification. He didn't earn two, and so we want him to have two to get a better chance. But at the time, he was 2 years out. He was looking forward at buying his second home.
Oh my!
This is a real profession, and he was another one of these individuals just highly motivated.
Good for him.
And he wasn't at the conference this year, unfortunately, because he was getting married that day. So he's moved forward.
Yes.
And it's great to see that. And then we just had someone leave our program and parole maybe 8 weeks ago.
Okay.
Young guy, made a mistake, paid for it, and he committed himself to this. He earned his literary and formatting certification, very hard one to get before he left. He got out, he got a job at a restaurant, something to get his feet on the ground, and he managed to make it up to this conference that I was just at. And I made sure that he was in front of all the people who really matter in this world, the Braille world. I wasn't there to see him, but I got all the reports back, and I'm pretty sure he got a job offer.
That's awesome.
He's gotten a scholarship to attend conferences and receive software, and I just heard this morning that the National Braille Association has granted him a 1-year membership, which gives him access to all their materials, all their past webinars, and to the people. The networking is very important.
Yeah.
So we're really proud of him and looking forward to where he goes.
That's awesome. And I know there's a gentleman that went over to Indiana Department of Corrections because there are Braille programs across the nation, prison Braille programs. And he ended up, I believe, teaching for them.
Well, yeah, he did. Eventually, he was sort of Indiana's version of me, but for the whole state of Indiana.
Wow.
So he
came from inside Folsom State Prison.
He was an inmate or incarcerated individual in Folsom. I remember seeing him in the first tour I was in, and then he's
quite successful.
He's made a life for himself outside of
that,
it.
and that's what we want to see.
Yes.
So I'm very excited about this. Very excited for the listeners and the viewers because for the first time ever, this podcast is going inside prison. We are going inside the walls. We are going inside to talk to the Braille students. I am so excited. I am so excited to bring this to you. So that will be our next episode.
Okay.
Joe, you'll be there with us, right?
Yes, I will.
And we're going to be talking to the men inside the Braille program inside Folsom State Prison and hear what they have to say about this amazing program. So thank you for being on our show today, Joe.
The pleasure's all mine. Thank you.
We appreciate it. And please follow, like, subscribe, Prison to Purpose, Building Futures Behind Bars. We couldn't do it without you. And remember, I always love to leave people with this line: hope does not stop behind the gate. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Prison to Purpose podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to hit follow, subscribe, and stay connected with us for more real stories, real growth, and real transformation. Share this episode with someone who needs a little strength today. We'll see you next time.